Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Get on the floor. My world is with my girls. Living on the dance floor. Living on the dance floor. My world is with my girls. Living on the dance floor. Get up, get on the floor. Living on the dance floor.
Love that.
We kind of hit that note. All right. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to another Dance Moms recap of America's favorite dance show, Dance Moms After Show. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. You can always tweet us during the show at #ABTV Dance Moms. Please also check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. And while you're subscribing, please hit that thumbs up button. And please keep the comments coming. We love hearing your feedback about and opinions about what's going on and all of these characters and the crazy drama that we get to witness on Dance Mom. So keep that going. We love hearing from each and every one of you. I am your host this evening. I am Candice Camacho. You can tweet me at Candice_Camacho. That's CAMACHO. And I am joined tonight by...
Hello, everybody. My name is Christy Olson. My first time on the Dance Moms panel. I'm like super excited.
Yeah, we have a new member.
And I love to interact with the fans too. So tweet me at Christy Reports.
Yes, we are excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm a longtime fan of the show, and I have a lot to say about this. So.
Oh, this is going to be good. We want to give a little shout out to our Lexi out there. She's feeling really sick tonight, so she couldn't join us. But
yeah, tweet her some get well wishes, guys.
Yeah, and next week we're going to have a whole panel with the moms, and so don't forget to tune in next week as well.
I'm really excited for that.
I know. That'll be exciting. I was sad that I missed last week.
I know, me too. It was a great show, though. If you guys missed it, make sure you go back and check out last week's after show. All the girls and Abby were here, and Abby said some pretty juicy stuff.
She did, and we weren't surprised at all what she said. So, this show, Bye Bye Pittsburgh Season 5, Episode 4, opens with Nia and Holly.
Yeah.
And Nia's grandfather isn't doing well, and she expresses her commitment to the team, but she's really worried if she does go to LA that she might have to come back home and check on her grandfather.
Yeah, and somewhere along the way, Nia became a young woman in this. All of a sudden, I'm like, she's a teenager now. She just handled this all so well. She seems so poised. She's so well-spoken. And I just sort of was like, oh my gosh, you're not a little girl anymore, Nia.
I know she's not, and I was really surprised in all of the editing and the commercials about her big crying spell and how they edited it. It was Abby before that saying, "You're done," and then it cut to poor Nia crying. But two things I knew. Number one, she's not getting kicked off the team. And
for sure.
Number two, Abby didn't make her cry like that.
Right. And actually, they had a really sweet moment at the studio when Nia came in and explained the situation to Abby, and Abby hugged her, and it was so odd to kind of see Nia crying. She's always such a rock. But it was a cute moment with her and Abby, and it reminds you that there isn't always turmoil. You know, these girls really do look to Abby for guidance, and it was really cute.
Yeah, guidance and comfort, and she showed that when she went to give her a hug. And I just hope that that's a glimpse of Abby that actually does exist off camera and that it wasn't just for the cameras.
Yeah, you wonder how much of that kind of footage is laying on the editing room floor, Abby being nice, you know?
Yeah, and we know all of the fans out there, they talk a lot about the editing and, you know, what you think of the editing, but this case just really shows you that it can totally change the whole storyline. So
it's all about perception.
Yes. Okay, so in the pyramid, we'll go to the pyramid.
Yes.
Abby chastises the girls for being second place. And
That's, what did she say? Second place is the biggest loser in the room?
Yeah.
Which I guess is a good point.
right. I mean, I have heard that term, you're the first loser, but, you know, I don't know. It just depends on things and the costume, and I wasn't a huge fan of that number. What do you think?
No, I wasn't super surprised that they got second place, but after, what was it, 13 wins in a row or something?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season and last year, I mean, it has to hurt to hear that second place.
They're going to have to lose eventually, right, at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
We always lost on my dance team, so that went to phase. Second place would have been an exciting day for us.
Oh, did you dance growing up, too?
I did, yeah. It was a very long time ago, and it's been a while. But yeah, a little bit competitively, but mostly just for fun.
Excellent. I danced, too, growing up. Yeah, and I plan on putting Athena in dance, too. Can't wait for that.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. So Holly speaks up, and she asks if Abby thinks that she's biting off a little bit more than she can chew with opening up the new studio and sending the girls on auditions and competing every week. And of course, Abby says,
Well, and I was surprised that they would question her at all. I mean, look at what she all does.
Yeah.
It's like she can handle it. She's already been managing all these girls for quite a while and does so much more than just be a dance teacher that I was sort of like, Abby's got this, moms. Don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah. I'm surprised at this point that they would question her, too. Because it's not going to get you anywhere, right?
Right.
We've seen it time and time again.
And it sort of seems like the moms are the ones that don't really get the industry and the Hollywood thing. So I think they better just sort of take a step back and let Abby do her thing. I think it's going to be okay.
Agreed. Agreed. So in the pyramid, we've got Miss Nia at the bottom because she was the lead in the second place number. Poor Nia. Followed by Kendall because of her feet.
Always. I love Kendall. She might be my fave.
Yeah, she's a gorgeous girl. Followed by Miss Kalani, who is not bringing the team up to her level. She's
And who's always out of formation, although she's the most beautiful dancer.
She is, yeah. Her spacing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And she's a gorgeous dancer. I'm a huge fan of Kalani and her lines. Next, we've got Maddie because she, number one, wasn't there. And she got to tell her classmates about the exciting thing that she got to do with Sia and LA and perform with the celebrities. So that was pretty nice.
I was surprised that Abby usually puts her at the top of the pyramid for that, though. Like, as if saying doing stuff like that is more important, really, than anything else, because that's their ultimate goal. So I was a little surprised that it wasn't Maddie again at the top for bringing all the celebrity attention to ABDC.
Yeah. ALDC. That's okay.
A, B, C, D, F, G.
We all know what she meant.
Right.
And, right, but it's kind of nice. It was like a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, thank goodness. If she would have been on top, that would have been like, hello, elephant.
Time number 137.
Right. Followed by Miss JoJo. And Abby goes on to say, she gives her a compliment because JoJo is a great performer. She's got sass,
For sure.
confidence. She pushes in a way that the other girls don't, but she has a mouth.
Right. Maybe a little bit too much sass.
Yeah, a little bit too much sass. But I don't feel like you can really blame her for that. I think that's more her mother. You know what they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Well, yeah, she's clearly gotten it from her mother and also been instructed on it from her mom. So it's like she is Jesselyn times 10.
Exactly.
Right?
Which is so sad because she's putting her foot in her mouth. We see so many times throughout this episode. I think she's a great performer.
That, and you can't deny that. And I think better than any of the other girls. And that's sort of what Abby's always pushing, is that theatrical, like, make the faces and really be into it. And that it's exactly what we see from JoJo. And you can tell why Abby wanted to bring her on. And I get a little bit annoyed by JoJo, but I also can't help but wonder, like, if that was me at her age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm doing just fine, so I give her a lot of credit.
Right. Speaking up, and she does that, and she talks back to Abby and is like, yeah, I will speak up. So that was interesting. And then Kira pipes up with an impression of JoJo, and I totally I was like, I really disagreed with that. That was very uncalled for and disrespectful. You don't ever make fun of a child like that. And kids are just kids, you know. They say this, they say that. Like, don't like take it with a grain of salt. I mean, Kalani probably doesn't care less about this and that.
What she wears.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was surprised that came from Kira. Kira's usually pretty even-keeled, and she sort of seems like the last one who would be comfortable enough to insult one of the other girls. And even when she said it and she was making fun of the way that JoJo said free, like fui fui, I was like, Kira, are you saying that? Can you not pronounce it, or are you making fun of her? Either way, totally inappropriate.
Exactly.
Although, props to JoJo for being smart and savvy enough to call up some designer, and I'm kind of sick of seeing her in these little outfits, but props to her for getting some free clothes for her appearance on this show.
Exactly. And you can't be mad at her for that. That's, you know, incentive. Like, it's smart. Why not? Why not use that to everything you've got? You know, shoes, bows.
And I'm sure that designer is selling out on all that stuff because it was a little bit too much for just in the studio, but it was super cute.
It was super cute. She was dressed to impress. And then, of course, we've got Mackenzie on the top with her very deserving victory of
Yay.
Boom Boom. Yeah, first overall. So Abby said she boom boomed her way to the top, and she did.
It was a super cute number.
It was very cute. So for this week's competition, they are traveling to Woodbridge, Virginia to go to World Class Talent. For this week's competition, your favorite girl, Kendall, gets a solo.
Yeah, I was excited. And the little Clueless theme. I sometimes think that Abby points out a little bit too much how Kendall seems a little bit, and I don't want to say it either, be mean, but you know what? Maybe it's that she kind of looks like that girl. You know,
Yeah.
that sort of ditzy, the Clueless, the Cher thing. And I hate that we sort of say like, oh, Kendall's not so bright, because she is, clearly.
is.
And I just loved it matched her personality, and she rocked it. She, I think, is going to figure out how to work those angles. And she's such a beautiful girl, and I think she's going to end up, and Jill is fantastic as well, and I think that she's going to end up being one of those girls who's like, yeah, I'm hot and I'm smart. I'm going to own it. She's not there yet, but that confidence is coming for sure.
She's great. Yes, Clueless. So, and then Jill admits that she's going to be out of town, but she's leaving her daughter with Melissa, and Abby just doesn't care
Couldn't care less.
Couldn't care less whatsoever. And in a way, I was like, why did you even bring that up? You know, it's not like she's going to be like, oh, we'll have a great trip.
It made me wonder what the heck she was doing. I don't know what her job is.
What does she
kind
do?
of tried to figure it out, and I don't know, but she doesn't seem to have to travel that often for her job. So
Yeah,
I guess it was a big deal for her to leave Kendall at home.
It would be, yeah, for any mom. Jill, tweet us at what you do.
Yeah, right.
We would like to know.
We're just nosy. It's cool.
Yeah. So, and then Maddie and JoJo score the remaining solos. JoJo's doing Fashion Victim, which is just, you know, it goes together.
Perfect for her.
Yeah, perfect for her. And then Maddie gets She's History, which I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, is Abby trying to say something with this? Is she implying that other people think that maybe Maddie has reached her peak? Or I was kind of surprised that Maddie or Melissa didn't go, hey, wait, what do you mean? Why is she doing this Your History business?
Yeah.
You know, I know sometimes it's just about the theatrics and it's just because it was a fantastic dance, but I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well,
Maddie's not history. She's just getting started.
she's just getting started, that little girl. Maybe she's history going to, who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
She's going down in history, that's for sure.
She is. We wish her well all the time. And then the group number is Frozen Together, inspired by the movie Frozen.
Just like everything else out there.
Yeah. You know, they've got frozen chocolates for Valentine's Day. They're like $6.
Oh my God.
That's off topic, but it's crazy. It is all the way out there.
Well, I'm loyal to Cinderella. I haven't even seen Frozen, so.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay. Well, you have to see it. So upstairs in the viewing room, we've got the moms. And again, Holly's expressing that she, you know, her daughter's not going to get enough attention in LA, and I'm not surprised that she's concerned. Mm-hmm. She doesn't give Nia enough attention now, let alone going all the way out there.
But when the moms question this is what I was sort of referring to. It seems like they don't quite understand how the industry works. If Abby is their manager, Abby makes money off of every appearance that any of those girls do, and attention and more opportunities for her other girls. So if someone calls and says, I want your best dancer, of course it's going to be Maddie. And those are the kind of jobs, that's who Sia wanted, the best dancer. If they want the most beautiful young girl who can maybe act a little bit too, Kendall's going to get the job. If they're looking for someone who's a little bit older and well-spoken and so poised, it's going to be Nia.
That's right.
It just depends on in Hollywood what they're looking for, if you are what they're looking for, and Abby has no control over that.
No, and I don't think the moms get that, but we've saw where Abby was trying to get the point, like, I am their manager. No going and doing what you want. Everything has to go through me because she wants her cut of the money.
Right.
Of course.
And she knows what she's doing.
She does know what she's doing, and I'm hoping she also wants to protect the girls as well. Because Hollywood can be a vicious animal.
Oh, well, and especially when you're a reality star, I think people can kind of come out of the woodwork, and now that there's social media, there's a lot of ways to contact people. And if Holly does come across a big opportunity, and we all know this in Hollywood, you do have to go out and work for yourself. You know, I sort of have an agent who's never done crap for me. You know what I mean? Like, you really do have to get out there and look for your own opportunities. Yourself. But then let Abby handle it. She's the pro.
Right, yeah, because they need supervision so they all stay safe. Because those moms, they've been on the East Coast. The West Coast is a whole different animal. So we want them staying safe. And then
don't be naive, moms.
Don't be naive. Don't go out at night. I don't think they are, actually.
No. I'm sure they have such a crazy schedule while they're here. It's unbelievable, I'm sure.
Now, Jesselyn is wondering upstairs as well if Kira was actually making fun of her daughter's voice.
Yeah, good for her for calling Kira out.
Yeah, she absolutely busted her. And then Jesselyn accuses the moms of being threatened by JoJo being there. And I don't think any of them are threatened. I just think that they're tired of the mouth on Jesselyn.
Well, yeah, and I think just tired of these new girls coming in. And I know they're not always brand new girls. They've been around for a while, or we've seen them before, but they want it's all about the team. And it's always been all about the team since these girls were so young. And they've all been dancing together for so long. And I think maybe there's a point where the moms are just like, we want to sit here with the moms we know and have our established, 5-season reality show crew here. We're sick of dealing with all these other crazies. And even last week on this after show, Abby was saying how production sort of grooms these moms for months, even before they come onto the show. Like, you have to go in there and really stand up to the other moms and all this. So they've been talked up, and it's not a surprise that they act out and really try to make sure everyone knows their daughter and what their daughter's about.
Exactly.
So I can't really blame Jesselyn for coming in like this with sort of guns blazing, but I think the moms are just so over it. They want to sit and bicker with each other because that's what they're used to.
Right. They're just kind of done at this point. I think they just want to kind of relax and, talk about the same jazz that they always talk about. And then, what did you think of the fact that Jesselyn colors her daughter's hair?
Thank you. I was wondering if we were going to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. I was shocked. Because first of all, it seems like she's pretty blonde. Does she really need to be bleachy white blonde? And just that little young, cute hair. It's like...
No, it's like baby hair still.
Why would you do that to it? And all the other things they have to do anyway, all the teasing and the hairspraying. Like, leave the poor hair alone. And I know, like, a lot of us were blonde when we were young. I was that blonde at that age. And your hair gets darker as you get older. She's going to have to dye her hair for a lot of years. Let her just be natural.
And then what is it, if she's dyeing it now at 9, then what is it going to look like when she's 18? It's going to be fried. I just was like appalled at that situation.
Athena's not going to be getting highlights anytime soon.
No. I want her to be natural and just her own little person, no bleach.
Well, yeah, and they have to do
makeup.
so much makeup and all that anyway. It's like on the day-to-day, just let her be.
Yeah, I think another example of just being a little bit too much. But they say it's better to be too much because you can always take it down. It's harder to, step it back up.
I suppose that's true, yeah.
Yes. So back to to the viewing room. We've got Jesselyn trying to antagonize the other moms, and then Melissa proudly reveals that Ryan Seacrest wants to interview Maddie and Mackenzie.
It's a big deal.
A very big deal, and they're doing another magazine, and Maddie booked a television show.
Yeah, Austin and Ally, right? Is that
Right.
on Disney Channel or something?
I'm not. Yeah, I think
so. That's a huge get for the audience they're going for. You know, the young girls love this show and love Maddie, and so that's a perfect appearance for her.
It is a perfect appearance for her to start there. And, of course, Jesselyn wonders if, you know, Abby's going to push for Nia, Kendall, and Kalani as much as Maddie, but I think it's just what you said. It's just, you know, people in LA are very specific. Like, I want, you know, a hip-hop dancer. I want a beautiful commercial, tall and lean. It's just...
Or I want the star of the Sia video. Well, you know, that's going to be Maddie now for the rest of forever. So the other
Exactly.
girls have to get something going like that themselves as well.
Right. If I was in that position, I would be upset because I do feel like Maddie, of course, is the star of the show, gets all of the attention, and they're going to be uprooting their lives and moving to LA and not sure how much attention they're going to get. And, you know, that's a lot moving, you know, all the way across the United States. So I would be a little upset myself.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they all do so much traveling anyway for the show and for different appearances. I don't know that it really matters to them too much if they're in LA or Pittsburgh or Ireland. I know they're going to soon.
Right.
So,
Okay.
world-class travelers, these little girls. I'm a little bit jealous.
I know. I'd like to see their passport, right? It's probably full. They're probably on their second one.
Yeah.
So during the group routine, they show JoJo a couple steps behind, bless her heart,
And she really was.
She really was, and there was a section where she was actually absolutely doing her own thing. Like her arms were up, she was in releve. I wasn't sure what she was doing. And then when Abby calls to question her about her costume, JoJo sasses off again. Oh, I'll give you a costume. So
That was a little unbelievable. You sort of saw it coming, and you were
Yeah.
like, JoJo, just keep it, just
a couple notches.
yeah, right, just keep it close.
Yeah.
And she just can't do it. Bless her heart.
And that's the comment that got her out of the group routine. I think she still had a fighting chance, but she opened the mouth, and she has to learn.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, because that kind of back talking in the studio can really bring everyone down. It can waste time, and especially if Abby wasn't happy with the way the group dance was looking, she wasn't about to let this girl stand there and yap her trap. Well, they should have been practicing. Although I was super shocked. And again, even after being told you're being cut, and sort of because you opened your mouth was the final straw, then she goes upstairs to her mom and says, oh, I wasn't even off during that part, and this and that. And then she's crying, and you sort of see her breaking down a little bit, but she's still saying like, oh, I wasn't even off. You know, and I think at that point, I know my mom would have said like,
Honey, you're off.
right. And that's
Yeah.
what your teacher said. And it doesn't matter what you think. You need to not talk back to your teacher. If that's what she said, then go to another room and work on it so that you're not off anymore, so that she can't say that.
Exactly. But the problem here is that Jesselyn doesn't think that her daughter needs to come down a couple, even though we've already seen evidence that she does.
Right.
That's kind of blows my mind. And it is the moms that blow their kids' chance all the time. Have you noticed that the kids can, you know, keep quiet, but the moms who were supposed to be mature. Now, I might be eating my own words here in a couple of years. We'll see.
And Abby she does have a lot of patience with these girls. You know what I mean? And with the moms, not so much. And I think, like, remember Christy and the whole thing? It's just sort of like, moms, take a note. Also listen to what Abby's telling the girls.
Exactly.
And use that note, take it in yourself.
Yeah. But I have said before that as a mom, when somebody is mean to your kid, it's like 25 times hit as a mom. So I'll have to see how it goes in a couple of years.
I
We'll
can
see.
only imagine.
All right. I'm going to bring out my mace. Okay. So I think we can move on to the competition.
Yeah.
So they arrive in Virginia for the competition, and Abby is wanting a clean sweep across the board. She's got 3 great soloists. They got second last week, so she is banking on a winner this week so that they can go into LA with a win under their belt.
Yeah, and it looked promising. The solos had sort of they all had a great little kitsch to them and seemed well matched with the girls, and they all looked great before they went out, and I sort of thought like, all right, they might be able to take this until, dun dun dun, the news that they would all have to dance in the teen category, which I still don't quite understand if they're 11 years old, how they're supposed to compete with 12 to 14-year-olds, but Abby didn't quite get it either.
Right. It's something about their birthday. Because of JoJo's birthday being in December or something, she fell to the minis, and then this competition is 12 to 14. So that was very surprising. And I know that she wouldn't have gone to the competition if that would have been true.
Exactly, like she said, and she would have put Kalani in for a solo.
Yeah. And then she wouldn't have, well, we're not sure what she would have done exactly.
I am a little bit surprised when they suggested that JoJo take Nia's place, which was mildly inappropriate, and I really admired how Nia stuck up for herself. She said just the perfect thing and not too much. But I was kind of surprised that Abby wasn't like, yeah, you're right. Let's do it. She already knows the dance. Throw her in, get Nia out of here, and let's take our first place win in the little girl category.
Right. I didn't think that. I felt like at this point she's just totally over JoJo, and I don't think she views JoJo as like a chorus type dancer. JoJo needs her own show, like Asia.
Yes, like Asia.
Yeah. JoJo, you should be the next Asia.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that one. I wonder if it's coming back. I'll have to do my research and let you all know.
Right. So, yeah, she is so mad. In the meantime, poor Nia gets a phone call from her grandfather. And she really wants that win so that she can go back to her grandfather and say that she has a win. And I just, I don't know, I felt for her because that's so tough. I haven't lost too many people, but I mean, nothing in life can prepare you for that.
Well, yeah, and we found out, Abby said at one point that she used to enjoy talking to the grandfather. It sounds like he was sort of in charge of taking Nia to dance class a lot, especially when she was younger. And then that's really touching to know that he's sitting at home thinking, even in his sickness, thinking about Nia being at the dance competition and really wanting to continue to support her. So it's just so sweet that they have that kind of support system around them, and that Nia, even being a teenager, sometimes you don't care that much about your family anymore, or you're about you and your dance competition. And she really cared to take that phone call, and that really obviously did mean a lot to her.
Yeah, it showed a really great compassionate side. So, okay, we are Maddie Solo. What'd you think of Maddie Solo?
Of course, it's great as always, but to me, Maddie's solos are kind of all look the same. I don't know, not that she's a one-trick pony, because I'm sure she can do everything. I don't know if it's the choreography or just the way she dances is just so strong that it just always sort of looks like The Last Dance to me.
Right.
Oh, it looks like that one and the one before that and the one before that. This one didn't wow me, but apparently it wowed the judges, which is all that's necessary. So.
Right, exactly.
And then, the costume was a little blonde. It wasn't a showstopper for me.
Yeah. I really loved her performance, Maddie's performance in Stomp the Yard.
Yes.
I would like to see her next solo a little bit more like that.
Yeah, something different and unique.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the network needs to kind of throw different things in the pot with the choreography and the costume and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that production and the network had a say in the dances that the girls do in the theme, and that was sort of what Abby was referring to last week on your after show, that they come up with different things and different kitschy, things for the girls to do and themes to have, and I'm surprised that Abby lets that happen, sort of, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that she must not have a choice. She must have to just, kind of, she's at their, mercy
at
as
their
well.
whim a little bit, yeah.
Kendall's dance, I think it's adorable, but I just was worried that it was like, and she owned it, and she was sassy, and I think that's more of who Kendall is, but I just felt like the choreography was a little bit too babyish and could have been more for Mackenzie. And
yeah, I always love to watch Kendall. I think she puts on just as good of a show as the other girls do, and she, like Abby was saying, she's too much in the face and doesn't think enough about the feet, but I think she's just as expressive as Maddie, and that's the one thing Abby has is always pushing, is giving the face and being really into it. And that's where Kendall really thrived in this dance, is she really played that character.
She did, yeah, she did. She was sassy and she was cute, and I did think about the movie Clueless.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I love that character.
Yeah, but you're right. The choreography was a little bit amateur. And, you know, I guess they accuse Abby sometimes of not putting enough into the choreography, or that it's a deliberate thing. If a dance isn't as difficult, then it's not worth as many points. But I'm not quite sure what happened here. But you're right. She can do a lot more than that.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen some more hits, some more, just maybe more contemporary, besides, you know, the cutesy and the lyrical, like we saw with Maddie.
Yeah.
JoJo's solo, I mean, it's obviously she's ridiculously talented. She really is. That hair.
Those 8 spins into the illusion. Even I was like, dang, girl.
Seriously, that is amazing. Amazing. Her costume was a little bit overkill for me. I don't like it was just too grown up, like the bow here.
Do you think so?
And then like the midriff, and then the little skirt, like. But I mean, it's not even just that. It just was too over the top with everything. I just was like, where do I look? I'm not sure.
I always used to think that about their outfits. But I guess now I've just gotten so used to them all being in their cute little stuff that it doesn't even faze me anymore. And she put, again, like kind of like Kendall, she put the attitude into this one. And the strutting and the outfit went, but yeah, I guess I can see what you're saying, that it maybe was a little bit too much.
Yeah, just the hair. And I was like, how are you going to comb that out? That's like, instead of watching her, I was like, I mean, you have some detangler? Or like,
right, especially when it's all fried from being bleached.
I know. God, poor thing. Beautiful kid.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so after that, they're back and they are rehearsing. And Jessalyn speaks up and wants to give Abby some options and says that if Abby wants to replace one of the older girls with JoJo, they could drop back down into the junior division, which I just was, number one, it's not your job. Number two, it's
Abby doesn't know that.
Yeah, it's not your competition, and it just gets you nowhere. Speaking up, and but you gotta love it. I mean, it's part of the drama. It's why we watch.
Right, and it did seem like she considered it for a second. You kind of saw on her face like, but maybe not a whole lot longer than that. And again, like I said, Nia handled it fantastically. Spoke up for herself, but didn't go JoJo style, too much sassy. And I was surprised that Nia's mom directly addressed JoJo and was like, JoJo, would you really want Nia to be out, when it was Jessalyn who made the suggestion? But of course, JoJo's ready to get in the conversation and put her 2 cents in anyway.
Right.
So...
So, well, thankfully, Abby doesn't budge.
Yeah, she shut it down pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, they can't at that point because, it wouldn't have worked anyway. So I'm glad that Nia was in the spot. But she was never Abby, I don't think, was ever considering replacing her. So I feel like she let the deliberation go on a little bit too long for Nia's sake. But that's my opinion.
Well, yeah, for the sake of the reality TV cameras is maybe why she did.
Da, 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 da. Okay. Thankfully, she has a little bit of heart, that woman. Okay, so we've got the group number. Frozen.
Didn't stand out to me. The costumes were beautiful. Again, how we're sort of focused on the hair and the clothes and all that. I was like, those eyelashes are out of control. They were like white, dusted, thick. Like, I wonder how the girls can even see sometimes where they're going on stage with all the eyelashes and everything. I can't even handle wearing false eyelashes.
Exactly.
And I'm not dancing around.
And the lipstick.
Yeah.
But I loved like the kind of the hair and the costumes. Those were beautiful. They did a great job. But it's just kind of the same old, what's it called?
Same old song and dance.
Yes, same old thing. It's so they're gonna have a rude awakening when they get to LA and everything's quick and everything's fast and it's just hit. It's not the the beautiful. Lines so much.
I feel like dance in LA is a little more urban, just by trade. This is LA. What these dancers grow up to do, a lot of them, is be backup dancers on music tours and be on stage at award shows, backing up Beyonce. And actually, Abby has one of her former students who's been a backup dancer for Beyonce and was on stage with her at the VMAs. So Abby should know that that's the competition they're going to have. Exactly. And I'm kind of surprised that they're still doing this little cutesy stuff when it's like LA is coming. You got to get Go Hollywood.
Right. And start preparing now, practicing now for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so back to the awards.
Yeah, then it was time to hand them out. And I was holding my breath a little bit, too. I was sort of wondering if they would really drop off the map being in the teen category. You know, we never see the other dances.
That's
or
right.
really too much of the other dancers in the other dances.
I wish that we could see some of those sometimes.
Yeah, so that we can compare, you know.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that Maddie still got first place. I mean, that's pretty wow when you're up against 14-year-olds.
That is wow. That's amazing. So kudos to her. I mean,
Right.
And again, she has proved that she is the number one girl time and time again.
But I thought even Kendall getting third place when she's 11, right? Against 14-year-olds, I mean, that's pretty commendable. And I was sort of surprised that Abby didn't say, like, you know what, good job.
Yeah. I mean, for the love, woman, say good job once in a while, please. I know you got it in there.
We don't see it, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, having that attitude of like, second place is the biggest loser in the room and first is what you're going for, that's not a bad thing. You know, grooming these girls to think that being the best of the best is where you want to be, it certainly is, especially with all the competition that they're going to be facing when they get to LA. But I was proud of Kendall for her third place win in the teen category.
Yeah.
You get it, girl.
Get it. Good job. And then we've got JoJo with her fashion victim with third place, which I was blown away. I thought for sure that she would get first.
So did I, just based on the difficulty factor of all the tricks she did, like we were saying, the turns and all of that.
Very difficult stuff.
Yeah, and how much pizzazz she puts into it, because I think that's what stands out when you're probably looking at other 9, 10-year-olds. It's like, whoa. Then JoJo probably gets on the stage and you're like, whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was surprised by that one. I wondered if there was some kind of politics going on there or what. If she would have been second, I would have said, oh, okay, there was just one girl who's,
but
you know, the Maddie of Virginia or wherever they were.
Yeah.
You know, but to get third place,
So two girls can do 7 turns.
Yeah, right? 8 turns and an illusion. I mean, come on.
8 turns and an illusion, excuse me.
Maybe the judges didn't care for her outfit either.
Maybe.
For JoJo's outfit.
Maybe I was spot on with my my opinion there.
Yeah.
We'll see. Then the group Frozen Together got second place, which isn't too shabby. They competed with girls so much older than them, and I know, even though we didn't get to see the other groups, I know they probably look like babies compared to who they were dancing. So I was really excited for them to get second place, even though, I mean, you know, they really needed the win under their belt.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of disappointing that they got to head off to LA without that. But they know their worth. They know they're amazing. And they know that that wasn't exactly fair.
Well, yeah, at their age, I mean, going up against a 14-year-old, 2 years or 3 years of dance experience at that age is a lot. I mean, think how much these girls have grown in the last few years, and that they're up against people who have had that many more years to grow in their dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, second place, I was applauding them.
Yeah. I was applauding them too. However, Abby wasn't, because back in the dressing room, she's talking about auditions and how there's no second place at an audition.
Well, and you have to remember the pressure that's on Abby too. Everyone in the dance world is looking at her. There's nobody else like her. There's nobody that gets that much and that kind of attention at these competitions. So I'm sure when she gets second place, it is embarrassing. I mean, look at all the people that are like, see, we told you she's not that great. See, you know, she can't choreograph, or this was wrong and this was wrong. I'm sure it is super painful to hear that second place announcement and be like, oh, what are people going to say about this? You know, because it's not on the girls. No one, I'm sure people don't take to Twitter and are like, oh, wait, not to get first place, girls.
Exactly.
You know, they blame Abby.
Yeah.
So she has that responsibility on her shoulders.
Yeah. Well, I guess she asked for it, didn't she? Miss Thing. And Jill and Holly go head to head again with Abby about how much work that, you know, Nia's going to get, and how much, you know, attention, and then Holly makes the comment, I'm not going to go out to LA and do something half baked. She's like, you know, And more power
That was
to you.
funny.
Yeah. And then Abby was like, hey, if you think you can get Nia some auditions, then work it. But you can get your own stuff out in LA.
Right, especially if you have the kind of following that these girls have. But again, like we were saying, Abby knows the biz, and she's done very well for a lot of her former students are very, very successful, not just in dancing, but in acting and music and all kinds of things that involve being a star. You know, so
It's hard to
she
say.
knows what she's doing. You want to run things through her. You don't want to go around her behind her back. 'Cause she knows
Exactly.
what's up.
Especially being the fact that she's their manager and she wants, a piece of like every single pie. So.
And she's probably got a contract that says she gets 10% no matter who gets the gig landed.
Exactly.
You know? So
you think 10%? Maybe 20%?
maybe 15?
Yeah. 15. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's not like anyone else was probably clamoring to sign these girls at the time when Abby signed them, probably years ago when the reality show first started.
Exactly. Well, and then Jeslyn and Abby get into a screaming match about JoJo and is JoJo going to LA? And I was not surprised that she's not going to be part of the team.
No.
But she will be representing her. So, and I think the other moms didn't like that. But she does have a lot of potential.
She certainly does, and I think especially in a place like Hollywood. You know, I don't know that JoJo is going to be a huge dancer, but I wouldn't be surprised if she becomes a major actress or even just a TV personality. You know, if she
Right.
gets if JoJo gets a hosting gig on national television before I do, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
Right.
there's just a lot of potential there. So it's cool. I'm happy to see, anxious to see where all. I'm actually anxious to see next episode next week.
Yes, yeah, because I'm very curious. I think the moms will be surprised. I think Abby will be surprised. The viewers will be surprised on who really does get work. I think Kendall's going to do a lot better than what they're thinking.
And so is Nia.
Yes,
I feel
yeah.
like because Nia's got the urban. They love ambiguous, ethnicities and all that. So I'm excited too. The episode ends with being dedicated to Nia's grandfather. So I guess he did pass in
December.
yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, so our thoughts are with you, Nia, and family. It looked like this was her father's father.
It looked that
Right?
was the
And she
first-
looks so much like her dad.
Yes,
in
she
that
does.
scene, that was I don't remember seeing him for
don't
quite a while
either.
on the show, and I
Yeah.
was like, wow, she's definitely her father's daughter.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the grandpa as well.
We forget, like, they have dads, somewhere. I wonder what the dads do when they're, like, doing all of this crazy long hours.
Oh yeah, and you would just love to know what the dads really think. And really, wouldn't it be funny if they did an episode where they brought the dads in to watch the rehearsal
Yeah.
and see the interaction between them and what they have to say? I'm sure they'd be shocked at what goes on in the studio.
I would really wonder, what was up
Right.
with the dads, how that would go. They'd probably be all relaxed with their coffee. Not like the moms. So, I guess that is it. Did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, so I guess is that our predictions?
Our predictions. Let's give into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yeah, kind of going off what I said, that the girls that we aren't expecting are going to do really well. I think it's finally going to shut the moms up a little bit, and it's going to change things, because when they come to Hollywood and Abby sees that maybe Kendall lands an acting gig or a modeling gig, or maybe Nia lands something that's more of a speaking role, and I guess Nia is also a talented singer and she likes to write music. We've just seen Mackenzie do that thus far. I think this could change everything up for everyone, just based on what the Hollywood people think of these girls.
I know. I agree. I think that where Abby's going to be surprised and LA's going to give her a run for her money, and I think that all of the girls are going to flourish in one way or another here, and I'm excited to see them out here, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do. And you never know. I mean, with the kind of following that they have, and using this show as a springboard, I mean, the sky's the limit, and I'm excited to see.
There's no doubt that they will be successful successful, and I think all of them will be. And that's the point I always make about Abby and about this show. She is grooming these girls to be huge stars, and being a huge star is not easy.
No.
And being in LA and going to auditions when you walk into a room with 100 other girls that look the same as you, and you have to be the best one and the one that stands out. Abby has groomed them for that since they were 2 years old. She's prepared them for this. These girls aren't going to go into a room and get told by a director, you're too short or you're not doing it right, and sit down and cry.
No.
They're going to be able to take the direction, and that's a big thing in Hollywood too, is can you take direction and are you easy to work with? And these girls are so prepared for this. Abby has well prepared them, and I think they're all going to do great.
I do too. I see in the next episode, I think Abby kind of has a breakdown of some sort. I saw her looking pretty upset.
Right, and it's always so shocking when she doesn't have like the full hair and the makeup and everything. There was one little shot.
Yeah, where it wasn't like full and...
Yeah, she just looks so much different. Not bad by any means, but she just looks so different without the big poof and everything that it made me feel bad for her. Like it gives me that sympathy. Like, you know, when you go on camera not looking right, that means you're pretty upset.
That means you're pretty upset.
Right?
Yeah. I saw somewhere in the comments that somebody wrote, "Can Abby please stop wearing plastic jewelry?" And it was funny. You know, she loves her...
There might be a point there.
Yeah, she loves her rings. She loves her nails, her jewelry. So.
And always matching with the colors, right? Like, so this week at the competition, she was black and white. You know, we've seen her a lot with like a black t-shirt and then it's all yellow plastic accessories. You know, she's got the earrings and the bangles and all that.
I know.
So, but you know, that's another thing maybe coming to Hollywood. I wonder if Abby will change up her look a little bit, if she'll go a little more
urban,
LA.
Little white t-shirt, some boots, some jeans.
Yeah.
You know?
Start looking like a real housewife.
Yeah. It's much more simple out here, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much color.
Yeah.
And then I saw that JoJo was in the lineup, but she's not part of the team, so I just hope that nothing crazy kind of goes in that direction with her. I don't want to see any more kids hurt.
Well, yeah, remember when Ava's mom brought her in to Abby's surprise to
that was
the
horrible.
nationals? And
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to see any more of that type of thing. So.
No.
But again, it's the mom. We'll see. And all right, let's move on to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, Nia's had this for a while, but I want everybody to be aware of Nia's app that she has. It's called...
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's called Nia's Nation, and you can download it. It's $1.99, so no big deal, and you can be first to see her videos and all of her pictures and what's going on, and it's just, I'm so proud of her for developing that, and her first little video clip was like, "Hi, I'm Nia, and welcome to Nia's Nation, and thanks for joining, and you're going to get to be the first to see, you know, all this stuff," which is pretty cool.
Well, hey, so that's something that Maddie and Mackenzie don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Abby lined that up for her. That's great.
Yeah.
I saw there was a super cute video online of Chloe and Paige, who apparently, even though they're not dancing with Abby anymore, are still BFFs, and they did a really cute video where they answer fan questions, and there's some really good stuff in there. So make sure you guys check that out. It has 1 billion views already, so I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but if you haven't, it's really worth checking out.
Yeah, I've heard that Chloe's doing an amazing YouTube channel, and she started a book club that's on her YouTube channel, and she's reading like a book a month, and then she reads the book and talks about the book. Like, these kids are normal kids, they read.
See, and they are going to get hosting jobs before I do.
No, they're not, Christy. It's around the corner. It's around the corner. So, all right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, it was a great episode overall. And like we said, LA is coming and it's going to be big. I cannot wait. I know the fans are excited. I'm sure they're going to have a lot to say about what we have to say about it, and we're going to have a lot to say about it. So make sure that you come back next week and talk about that episode with us.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's another big reason, right, to tune in next week. Can we announce this? Speaking of news,
yes, we can definitely announce that the moms will be here. All the moms. Tony's back. Lexi's back. It's going to be a full house. It's going to be really exciting. So we've got that awesome first LA episode to look forward to, and the moms. So
I can't wait to meet them.
I
can't wait.
know.
And while you guys are all surfing the internet and checking all this stuff out, please hit up RyanShecrest.com. I have an exclusive interview with Abby's former student, Allie Meinsner, who, like I said, was Beyonce's backup dancer at the VMAs. She's been in the Step Up movies, and Abby really made her into a star. And she really vouches for Abby in this interview and talks about how Abby was detrimental to her career. She wouldn't be anywhere without her. And it really offers sort of a different side to all this. So
Okay.
please check that out as well.
Oh, right. I definitely will be checking that out. And also remember, if you're a first timer to the show or you haven't already subscribed, please go to youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. Check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. We do about 90 shows a week here at AfterBuzz. And
crazy.
while you're subscribing to our channel, please give this video a thumbs up. It matters a lot to us. I know that we've discussed many topics tonight, and Christy and I, we could just go on and on because there's so much stuff, and we could talk about this was edited, and maybe this happened, and maybe she meant this, but
we'll save it for
Yeah.
next week to actually ask the moms what the real deal was, right?
Yeah, exactly. So keep posting in the comments below. We're going to get on the comments tomorrow and keep those coming and get back to you guys. Follow us, or you can tweet us at ABTV Dance Moms. So ABTV Dance Moms. You can tweet me at Candice_Camacho. And we'll see you next time. Where can they tweet you
Yeah, well,
at?
let me know if you agree or disagree. I've gotten a lot of disagreement this week from my other after shows. So if you agree with me, I'd really appreciate hearing that too. Hit me up at Christy Reports. I appreciate it. I love to talk to you guys.
Yes, they're very good at telling us their opinions.
For sure. That's what we're here for. It's all right.
Yeah, that is what we're here for. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.